Hey guys, it's DP here. Welcome and thank you for tuning in. I apologize ahead of time. I am currently fighting a cough, um, so I apologize in advance. Today I will not be joined by Strong or Captain, so y'all are going to be just stuck with me and my gravelly kind of voice tonight. Tonight we are going to be talking about JJ Abrams, and he recently spoke about The Last Jedi and uh, this fan edit, quote unquote fan, um, of The Last Jedi that it was reportedly the same group that tried to sabotage the Black Panther Rotten Tomato score as well as sabotaging the Last Jedi Rotten Tomato score. They apparently did a edit of the Last Jedi that took out a majority of female scenes, primarily Emerald Holdo and Rose, two of the new female characters added to the films, um, and JJ talked about how these people are threatened by women, and that you can find. And he basically talked about how these people would be the ones to find issue with Princess Leia from the original trilogy, and how she, because she was this very strong female character. He talks about how uh, these people can say, "Oh, she was too strong. She was, uh, she was too vocal," and essentially he said that you can find anybody and anything in Star Wars, and that ultimately these people need to get over it is essentially what he was saying. He also brought up the excellent point that uh, out of the four essentially main characters of this new trilogy, being Rey, Finn, Poe, and Kylo Ren, only one of those characters is a female. Three of them are males. And then people are still saying, "Oh, there's too many female leads in Star Wars. There are too many female characters in Star Wars." Uh, no. As of right now, uh, there are there's currently only really one female lead in Star Wars right now. There was Jyn Erso in Rogue One. Um, her character, of course, had to die in that movie. Spoiler alert. Um, but she was a very strong, excellent character. Clearly the lead of that movie, but also worked very well with the ensemble cast. Um, again, in which she was the only female. And then in this new trilogy, Rey seems to be the main ultimate focus. Um, and people, and I do agree that she is a little overpowered. Um, but people could also say the same thing about the character of Starkiller from the Force Unleashed video games. He was very overpowered. Same thing for Superman, Dr. Manhattan, all these male characters. Very OP. So that's not just me. I promise it's not just me saying, "Oh, she's a girl, she shouldn't have that much power." No, just in general, I don't think um, they should be that overpowered, that they just don't seem to have any issues with anything. Um, but for me personally, I had my own problems with The Last Jedi, none of them being the female characters themselves. It was primarily decisions made um, by the characters, but I also had issues with a lot of the decisions that all the characters made in that movie, both male and female. Um, one of my biggest complaints about the movie is Luke Skywalker himself. Um, but that is for another time. I'm sure we'll be doing our own Last Jedi review at some point um, in the very near future. But as far as females in Star Wars go, I do not think there's enough. Uh, because my whole thing is that yes, it is a very different universe from the world we live in. Star Wars is, but ultimately, I feel like in multiple ways, these movies should be a reflection of the world we live in, or in some way. And in the world we live in, there's one or two women, and I don't know if you guys know that or not. But almost anywhere you look, there's gonna be a woman, almost. Um, but and these and women are not just like like the prime example in Star Wars, Twi'leks, Twi'leks, however you choose to pronounce it. I've heard it pronounced as both. Um, I say Twi'lek, but their whole species is j- just used for slavery, and and for all the amazing bits that the original trilogy gave us, there's always going to be slave Leia, for better or worse. That is not what women are. They are not these sex objects that they're just a pretty face. That's not what women are. They are these strong, independent, intelligent, uh, self working people. It, it bothers me that whenever I hear people say, "Oh, it's ruining Star Wars," no, it's not. Is there if it's ruining Star Wars, does that mean that you having women in your life, is that ruining your life? And for people that say uh, that, that it's ruining Star Wars, I the way I choose to look at it, I like, for example, we'll say the DC universe, um, the films universe as of late has not been the best, and we got Wonder Woman and Man of Steel. Those are the two best movies, I think. Um, and I acknowledge that they are not great movies. I acknowledge that the prequel Star Wars movies are not great movies. But in some form or fashion, I personally can appreciate or enjoy them in some way. Um, but I do not understand why people have to find the negatives and just not even acknowledge the positives in anything. I have never understood that. Um, and I, the way as far as these DC movies go, and then even with these Star Wars movies and just life in general, I acknowledge the faults. I acknowledge that these DC movies are not the best. But I also have the Dark Knight trilogy. I have the original two Superman movies. I have Wonder Woman. I have all these amazing DC animated films I can go to. I have the Batman animated series. I have the Superman animated series. I have the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited animated series. And so really, if I'm like, no, I really I need something. I need something good. I can just go and watch those. I don't have to watch something that I don't like or that isn't good. You do not have to watch these new Star Wars movies. If you do not enjoy them, don't watch them. It's not that hard. And I am all for voicing your opinion. That's literally what our podcast is about. Is about us talking about things we love and sharing our opinion on it. And I, and free countries, free speech, all that. But there is no reason that, especially with the state that our world in general, but specifically our country is in right now, there is so much negativity and so much chaos, and I'm tired of there being more and more negativity and more chaos in something that is supposed to be bringing people joy and supposed to be a platform to get away from all that. That is what movies are made for, is an escape. They are meant to help us just not think about this crazy, insane, depressing world we live in. And people choose to take anything they can find to not like about these movies, and they just take it and run and just throw it in people's faces and say hate it. Just just let let your anger take hold. Let it flow through you. And they want you to they want to spread more hate. And there's too much of that in the world already. We do not need to spread more. And and again, there there's not enough positivity. There's not enough love. There is not enough good overall right now. And I'm not trying to just be cheesy. I am just being honest. And you know, going back to Star Wars, there's not enough women in these movies. Mara Jade. I've been waiting for Mara Jade to become canon because she is one of the best characters Star Wars has ever created. And I'm just waiting for her to become canon. And I I think that ultimately what I'm getting at is that these guys, these people that are saying that women are ruining Star Wars, whatever, they're gonna have to get over it. And what we need to do is we need to ignore them, because as sad as it is, they're not going to change their opinion. And my philosophy has always been, you don't have to agree with me, but I ask that you respect my opinion, because that is what I do to others. I'm not always going to agree with your opinion. I in no way agree with the opinion that women are ruining Star Wars or that there need to be less females or whatever. I disagree with that completely. But I do respect simply that it is your opinion. I do not respect the opinion itself, but I respect that you have that opinion. And ultimately, I know that I'm not going to be able to change that opinion. And you're never going to be able to change mine. And so I would never try to change yours. But um, yeah, so we'll post in the description below the link to the site that uh, we found. It's IndieWire, where we found it's got some of JJ's quotes on his feelings on it in general, but um, so feel free to check that out as well. But and so kind of to wrap up, please feel free to comment below your opinions on it. Um, all that we ask, it's like what Strong said in the last video, as far as the school shooting. This goes for this, the shooting video, any of our videos. Please feel free to discuss your opinions. We encourage that. That's what these podcasts are for. All that we ask is no negativity, no arguing. A friendly debate is totally fine. We do it all the time. It's what us nerds are here to do, is to have friendly debates. But no arguing, no negativity. There's too much of it. We are not going to have it here. So please, again, feel free to put your opinion, and um, yeah, so please like, share, and subscribe. And that is going to do it for us here today. Wrestling WWE Wednesday had to be postponed due to some technical, personal issues. And so we will try and get our next episode of that up as soon as we can. It will probably be this Friday. And we will also be doing our Geek Seat Saturday episode for Saturday. That is the current plan, but we will keep y'all up to date on that as best we can. Go and follow us on Twitter. That is Bullet Chums. At Bullet Chums. And so please go and follow us on there. We'll keep you up to date. And again, that is going to do it for us here. Again, I am DP, and we will catch y'all next time.